What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars, where it all started for me, right there. I love street rods. I love them. I mean, you gotta think about it. 1994, 3, I went to my very first big car show, Street Rod Nationals in Knoxville, Tennessee. Walking around all these cars. Very first time I ever seen Chip Foose before he was really shit. I love street rods. Love the curves, V-butted windshields. Billet. Love it. I love, and especially in street rods, I love the late 30s and 40s cars. You know, my grandfather actually, at that show, my very first show, my grandfather bought his very first hot rod. Well, a 1940 Chevrolet two-door sedan. A lot like this 37 two-door sedan. Front end's a little different, but similar. Put your mind on it. I love street rods, though. And that's something that's just, you don't see them as much as you used to. And it makes you appreciate them even more when you see them. You know, we have a lot of amazing cars come through this place, but I don't know. Old 37 Chevrolet kind of got me right here in the old ice box, just right off the bat. I knew Billy was coming in with his car, and I won't talk to you about street rods, but it got me thinking about something else. You know, back when my grandfather was still alive, you know, of course, I was telling you about the story about how my grandfather started the diesel truck shop and still in business today. You know, my dad ran it. You know, when my grandfather passed away, he took it over, and then I took it over, you know, about 10 years later. Something funny about all of this was dealing with customers. And, you know, it's just funny that all the types of people you meet being in business, especially being in business for small business. You know, we didn't have a lot of individuals. It was all small companies and things like that. You know, roofing companies, landscaping companies, you know, moving companies, everybody that uses trucks, you know, freight companies, whatnot. We had one customer in particular that when I took over, well, we had a couple customers actually in particular, but one really stands out. That was one of our problem child customers, and they weren't real good about paying. Always kept a pretty heavy balance. Had the worst trucks ever, just total pieces of shit. This guy had a franchise for a very popular moving company, and I was going to tell you the name of the moving company, but let's just say there's one in your town. It's a big moving company, and somehow he got this franchise. And every other franchise I've seen for this particular moving company, they always had like really nice trucks, and the guys had the little golf shirts on, humping furniture and stuff. This guy's trucks were absolutely horrible, just old and wore out, and busted up front ends, and you know, the boxes had holes in them, you know, no box trucks. Doors wouldn't half roll up on them, tires bald. I mean, literally just had their logo on the door. Horrible, like it'd been painted with spray bombs. I mean, they were horrible trucks. Even from a distance, they didn't look the part. Everybody that worked for them, you always notice I'd never seen the same guy twice with him to pick up a truck or anything. I'm like, damn, how many employees this guy got? Through the months and the years dealing with this guy, come to find out, his employees were basically guys he picked up that were like standing in a corner around the post office or hanging out like at the Home Depot looking for work for the day. And he had boxes and boxes and boxes of this company's logo t-shirts. And he'd give them a fresh t-shirt, you know, make them somewhat presentable. And he'd send them loose in a moving truck going into somebody's house, you know. And he had like 2 guys that were, I guess, steady, got a W-2 probably, maybe. They were pretty big guys, you know, obviously moving furniture and heavy stuff. And like I said, their trucks were junk. So they were always in the shop. There always was one there. And no matter what, he was always about a month behind paying. Good guy, nicest guy you ever want to meet. He'd sit down, shoot the shit with you, but he wasn't going to pay you. That's just all it was to it. He wouldn't hide from you. He'd talk to you all day long. But he's just like, man, I'm trying to get some money together, I'll get you paid. And sooner or later, he would pay. Just wasn't fast. So you knew when you were working for him that you were going to be waiting on your money. So my job when I took over is to get rid of these. And I shook one loose pretty quick. And then we had Jim. We'll use that name. And Jim is, you know, comes in. I said, Jim, we got to do something about this balance, bud. You know, we need to tighten this up a little bit. And I said, I don't mind looking out for you. Everybody has a rough month, a rough week or whatever, but I got to eat too. He goes, I know. He said, I'm in trouble, Rob. I ain't gonna lie to you. He said, I'll level with you. He said, I'm about to file bankruptcy. Well, that's definitely not what I want to hear when you owe me about $10,000. So me trying to act concerned and not come across the desk and kick his ass, I said, well, Jim, I mean, we need to do something about this balance. I mean, you haven't filed bankruptcy yet. I haven't got a letter, so I need to collect. I think I got a way to fix it. And he said, I'll let you know for sure next week. So he leaves, still hasn't paid. Next week, he comes pulling up at the shop, comes in my office, and come outside. And I look, and there's two brand new Ford, brand new for the time. Keep in mind, this is 2007. Two brand new Ford F650 26-foot box trucks. I'm talking about still had the window sticker on the side glasses of them, brand new. I'm thinking, you owe me money and you went out and bought new trucks. That's how you're going to fix this problem. He goes, no, that's not going to fix the problem. He said, I got you. He said, I just want to let you know I'm working on it. Okay. So he leaves with the trucks. I had to put a federal inspection. So keep in mind, those are $85 a pop. So now he's into me for $170 now. Again, another $170. So we put federal inspections on him. He calls me up 3 days later. He goes, hey, Rob, send a record. He said, you need to go pick up your payment. Keep in mind, he hadn't had these trucks days. And so, what do you mean, send a record to pick up my payment? He goes, send a record to pick up my truck. He got in a little accident. So one of his faithful employees was driving this 13-foot tall, 26-foot long box moving truck. And we have depot bridges, train bridges. Well, those are generally about 10 foot high. He tried to go under it and just killed the front of the box. Probably hit it running 30 miles an hour. Crap hanging off of it and all that stuff. It was just a few miles from the shop, so I sent a big record, pick it up, bring it in. They dropped the truck off. Jim come riding up. Jim said, here you go. He said, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm filing for bankruptcy in the morning. I highly suggest you put a shop lien on this thing and we'll call it even. I said, Jim, this ain't the way you do business. He goes, it's all I can do. He said, you're going to come out good. I don't know, Jim. So he left. Got this truck. Sure enough, called Jim. He's not answering the phone anymore. It went from voicemail to disconnected. After about 30 days, I sent my certified letters out. Of course, it's got money owed against it. And the very first one to reply, I got a phone call from Ford Motor Credit. Ford Motor Credit gives me a call. And they say, Mr. Pitts, we own blah, blah, blah truck. We'll pay, the tow bill, and we'll just get it out of your way. And I said, well, it's got a little storage on it. Keep in mind, we charge $75 a day storage. It's a big truck, takes up a lot of real estate. Well, we don't pay storage because we're a lender. Now, let me stop this story to tell you another one about shop liens and lenders. If you're ever in a shop situation and you have a lender come in and tell you this bullshit, that's all it is. They pay the bill just like anybody else. A bank ain't shit. Now proceed on with the story. Basically what I told Ford Motor Credit was just what I gave you. They said, well, we're not going to do that. So, fine. Another 6 months goes by. I send out another letter. Now, keep in mind, we're accruing $75 a day storage. Ford Credit calls me up. Says, hey, we're going to give you $2,500 and pay the tow bill, and we'll come get our truck. I said, bud, you got what, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 storage bill now. I said, you should have got it when it was that. He goes, well, we don't pay that. I said, well, I've got to get paid for my storage. Sorry. Click. Another 6 months rolls by. Now keep in mind, this is a brand new truck, but it's a year old now with like 300 miles on it. Caterpillar 07 654 truck. And all the damage is on the box. The truck is perfect. Sells the plastic on the seats. Ford Motor Credit calls me one more time. What's the bill on the Ford truck, Rob? I think it was like $16,000 in storage. I pulled it up, added it up right quick, told them. They said, final deal. We're going to give you $10,000 and come get our truck. And I said, no, I'm not making deals. This is what you owe. You just asked me. This is what you owe. You know, you should have bought it. Or should have paid for it 6 months ago, and that would have worked. Might even saved you a little money. It was a game now. So I go, Mr. Pitts, can you hang on the line for just a minute? All right. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get my money now. Apparently, this guy's boss comes on the line. He goes, Mr. Pitts, this blah, 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 blah with Ford Motor Credit. He goes, we're talking to you. I got the paperwork here. Here's some paper shuffling. He said, VIN number, blah, 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 blah. 2007 Ford F650. Yeah, white in color. He said, yeah. He said, Mr. Pitts, has anybody ever gave you anything? I said, ain't nobody never gave me a damn thing. He says, well, congratulations. Ford Motor Credit just gave you a Ford truck. You can have it. I said, all right, just be awesome and mail me a title. He said, no, I'm not going to make it that easy on you. You need to apply for a new one through your state for a new one. Click, and he hung up on me. Took about another 60 days through the state to get the title. You know, of course, Ford Motor Credit had to basically say, hey, we're just surrendering the truck. And they gave me a title. Well, lo and behold, as luck would have it, this had this big aluminum box on the back that was totally bashed. So I sent my guys over there. They pulled the box off the back of the truck. This big 26-foot aluminum box with a lift gate. Sold the lift gate for like $3,500. Scrapped the aluminum box for like $4,000 in aluminum. And now I've got this perfect cabin chassis with no miles on it. And I'm over here thinking in my head, or just send this thing up to Jerdan, have me a new rollback bed put on it or something nice. And I was thinking this. We had a customer that did pavement marking. And he goes, man, that's a good looking Ford truck. I mean, it's brand new. And then we took the box off of it and just a white Ford truck. Never been lettered, I mean, nothing. We still don't, this damn thing still got the plastic on the seats. I said, hell, it's only got 300 miles on it. He goes, what do you want for it? I said, how much do they cost new? He said, they're about $60,000. So I tell you what I'll do. I'll cut you the deal today. I'll take $48,000 for it. He called back a week later and said, I'll take it. So my old buddy Jim actually ended up doing me right. That $10,000 and some change debt, it took me some time. You know, it took about 1.5 years to do it. And I get to thinking about Jim, you know, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And he was a crooked bastard. God, he's a crooked son of a bitch. But he made sure I got paid. So you got to say something for that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the guy that breaks into your house and steals your stuff, but he locks the door behind him. Just keep anybody else from coming in. You know, it's crazy the people you deal with in life. So fast forward 10 years, not that long ago. Guy comes pulling up at the shop in a late model F-250 truck. Gets out, walks in the office. I'm watching him on my camera as he's walking in. Have no clue who he is. Flops down in my office, got a big scruffy beard. Rob, how are you doing? Doing good, sir, doing good. He said, do I know you? He goes, I can't believe you don't recognize me. It's my old buddy Jim. I said, damn, Jim. He said, yeah. He said, it's been a little while. I said, damn, son. I said, what's up with the beard and all this stuff? He goes, yeah. He said, I'm letting it grow out a little bit. So I've been in prison. I said, oh, really? Shocker. And I said, what was you in prison for? There wasn't a truck deal. He goes, no. He said, I all got handled in bankruptcy court. Don't worry about that. That ain't nothing. He goes, no. So I got in trouble for some other activities. Well, now I'm all ears. So he's asking about the truck. He said, did you get paid? I said, yeah. He said, I always got to look out for my buddy. He said, I always liked you. I said, Jim, I got to know. I said, what'd you go to prison for? He said, you really want to know? He said, you know, back when I had the moving company, you know, I had my plane. And that was the thing that's crazy. This guy had these crappy moving trucks. He always drove a late model pickup, you know, had a nice house, and he had a plane that he kept at the downtown airport right here in Greenville. Not a little puddle jumper, like a nice one. He said, you know, I had my plane. He said, well, you know, we did some creative paperwork and we put the plane in a family member's name, so I got to hang on to that. But he said, you know, I had my plane. I didn't really know what I needed to do, and I met some people, and they had me flying some cargo from Mexico into the States, and I got busted. And the first thing I'm like, flying drugs in? He goes, no, I don't mess with dope. No, people. illegal immigrants? He goes, yeah, guys just coming here to work. Illegal immigrants. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. And I said, how in the hell did you get busted? He said, man, it was awesome. He said, I made 2 flights a month. He said, I would fly from our downtown airport to Juarez, Mexico. He said, I'd pull in this little itty bitty airstrip, and they had a little cafe. I'd pull in, leave my plane unlocked, and I always had a ball cap laying in my seat of my plane. And he said, I'd go in that little cafe and give me a cup of coffee. So I get my coffee. He said, I had just enough time to finish a large cup of coffee. Drink my coffee. I'd look out the window at the airstrip, and I'd see that ball cap would be laying on the dash. I could see it in the windshield. I knew it was time for me to leave. He said, I get in the plane. There was a brown paper bag full of cash. He said, I got paid $9,000 for every person I brought back. And he said, I brought back 3 at a time. And he said, there was $9,000 in cash apiece for everybody, and 3 guys laying down on the floor of my plane. Wheels up. We took off, headed to Greenville. And he said, I did that twice a month for 2 years. And I said, now how in the hell did you get caught? He goes, it just bit me in the ass. I got unlucky. I said, unlucky? He goes, well, we was making flights, and I thought I was going to make a little extra cash. So I decided I'm going to start doing 3 a month. So making almost $60,000 a month wasn't enough, so now we had to make $90,000. He goes, I figure I'm going to try to squeeze an extra run in. So he said, flew out of Greenville like I always do, landed in Mexico, got my cup of coffee, just like always, looked out the window, hat was on top of the dash. I walked on out to the plane. It's not just a prop. Guys laying in the floorboard, money in a sack. Hang on. Stella said, we're flying. He said, we're right over Alabama. I noticed my oil pressure gauge kept bottoming out. And the buzzer started coming on, low oil pressure. And he said, so there was a little municipal airstrip right there, in Alabama. He's been flying all over. He knows a lot of these places. So he calls in. Sticks are there. He has one of the guys at that little airstrip look at it. And come to find out it was something silly. The only problem was they were sitting there for about an hour. Now keep in mind, you got 3 dudes that speak no English. They're laying down on the floor of a small plane. So naturally, they're going to pop their head up from time to time or something. And I'm sure somebody, a mechanic, saw it, or somebody at the little airport or something, seen something and called it in. They got the plane fixed. Wheels up, Alabama to Greenville, short flight. He said, come in to Greenville. He said, as soon as I touched the landing strip, I looked over to my left and I saw 3 black Suburbans sitting there. And I knew it was over with then. Pulled my plane straight into the hangar, and those Suburbans followed me right in. Opened the doors, and they put me in cuffs, and, well, I've been out for about 3 months now, living with my daughter, selling used cars in Colombia. Interesting story, interesting guy, and I mean, there's no real, surprise ending to it and all that. It just goes to show you, once a mover, always a mover. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars, where it all started for me. Right there. Not the mic, the heart. So making $18,000 a month, or, well, no, actually more than that. I think it'd be $27,000 a hit.